put it in, it's better to see this way. Côte d'Ivoire had a civil war, 2 civil wars in the last 12 years. Political instability following the retirement or whatever, the first president, Houphouët Boigny, who ruled for 30 plus years. But this is basically Côte d'Ivoire right here. It has one of the highest loss rates in the study period. And you look at these polygons, this is a national park. And these are big forest reserves, and they're gone. It's wiped out. This is Thai National Park, which is a World Heritage, the UNESCO World Heritage Site, where they filmed the movie Chimpanzee, and it is intact. So there's something going on there in terms of protection, respect to that place. It survived. It's in Côte d'Ivoire, but a lot of these other places are off the map. It tells you, you might set aside 10, 15, 20% of your land protected areas. You go through 10 bad years of instability, and you can just erase that heritage very quickly. So again, look at Thai. Thai is pretty solid. It's like a beautiful, solid block, and that is the block of forest in West Africa. There's nothing else like it. Going to Central Africa, and what you don't see in Africa is the agro-industrial investment. There's a lot of talk about it, a lot of investment from China, what have you. It's coming. We see some big palm plantations on the coast in Cameroon and West Africa. We see some of that. We have not seen yet the huge area conversions that we see in Latin America and Southeast Asia. And that's sort of good news. Central Africa in general is still relatively quiet. It's a bad investment. It's a bad risk because of the political instability. And we see that. So when you're looking at Africa, you're looking at very small scale changes driven by local, smallholders doing their farming and pushing out into the forest. So we work in Central Africa with the USAID project. I'll give you a little, like a vignette here. This place, right in the Mringa-Lipori Wamba landscape, underneath the bend of the Congo River, was the front line of the Civil War there, and they had a civil war for about 15 years, and about 5 million people dead, deadliest conflict since World War II. The Civil War, the war kind of stopped right along the front through this landscape, and the people here were typically exporting in their history coffee, rice, other things. They were wired to the rest of the world. But when the war kind of sat on them, the roads degraded. The people using the roads were armed rebels or soldiers, and you see a displacement from the trunk roads where they usually do their farming and living into isolated patches out into the forest. So this contagion out into the middle of the forest is bad for biodiversity. There's a lot of guns. There's a lot of bushmeat hunting, and you that kind of pattern you don't see just south into the Salonga National Park. So this type of diffusion of settlement and disturbance is obviously not bad. That's a really tough decision to make, to isolate yourself from the rest of the society, because you need to be wired to get salt and kerosene and all that kind of stuff to live. So that's interesting and alarming. Now we go over to South